Yuke joins us from the West Coast right now. How are you, Kevin?
Doing good, doing good. It's crazy. It's been, what, 16 years now?
Man, how'd that happen?
Oh, man, life goes by fast, but it's all good. It was.
You think back to that day, and it was such a great debut. I know your family was there. Your parents got to be there. You're in Toronto. You got a former Cy Young Award winner on the mound. And in your second at-bat, you hit the home run. You go 2 for 4. I mean, you really couldn't have scripted much of a better debut, could you?
No, it was one of the most emotional days of my life. Just remember, I mean, I can picture everything from the actual phone call from Buddy Bailey in AAA in my hotel room where he's like, "Hey, you got your passport?" And I'm like, "Actually, I do," because I went on the Red Sox cruise that year with Bronson Arroyo and many other, Nesson people. So it was funny. Like, I had a passport, and usually most guys didn't have passports. So I had my passport, and I was like, "Oh, I got my passport." And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to Toronto." But I was kind of on hold. So I didn't know if I was good because Bill Miller was going to get surgery or not. And they didn't know. It was up in the air. So I flew up to Toronto and had to wait in my hotel room that night, watch the game, listen to the game on the thing. And then Tito called me that night and said, "Hey, you're in the starting lineup tomorrow." I got no sleep. I was like 4 hours of sleep. I mean, I was so nervous. And I think the coolest moment was thanks to Joe Cochran, who's still a close friend. I walk in and see the number 20. And that was the lowest number I've ever had on the Red Sox uniform because in spring training, I was in the 50s and 70s. I like the 50s because I was a linebacker, but it was the lowest number. And it was just such a cool, meaningful day for so much hard work and sacrifice along the way to get there.
The thing I was remembering that day, and you had it was the great cold shoulder treatment when you came back into the dugout after a home run. I mean, that usually doesn't come off as well as it did that day. I mean, that's one of the best I've ever seen.
It was. I mean, it was truly amazing, and it just spoke volumes to that team. I mean, they knew how to they knew how to play the best pranks, and I learned so much from those guys. I came into a group of amazing veterans, and I was in awe half the time. I mean, I'm just sitting around like, wow, like I'm playing with some of the best players in the game, future Hall of Famers. We found out with a few of them. I mean, Manny, we kind of knew that he was a Hall of Fame player regardless. And then David blossomed into that player over the years, which was so incredible to be hitting in front of him, hitting behind him and seeing that. But I think just that cold shoulder. And the funny story about it was when I still remember it, 2-1 changeup. I got a 2-1 changeup. My first at bat, I popped it up and I was like, "Hit the roof." And I didn't realize how high the roof was in Toronto. And then I got the same pitch and capitalized. But the person that had the ball, Pedro, went out and signed an autograph for and got the ball back. So it was really cool and really special. And it was my teammates, couldn't have scripted any better with the silent treatment.
Yeah, I remember Eric Freed was the sideline reporter. I think he negotiated the exchange with the fans live on air. He went out there during the game and got the Pedro thing. That was fun. We've been watching. We got no new games, so we're watching a lot of these old games. Have you done any of that? Have you seen any of these games from 04, 05, the last couple of months? A lot of networks showing a lot of old games.
I've gotten a lot of clips. I'm just so busy right now with Loma Brewing Company and Coffee Company and my kids that if there's something on, I can't even take time. I need I need to DVR it in some way because I just can't keep up with the time. So, but I have seen a couple games of the 04, a lot of clips, and it's just incredible. I mean, 16 years. I mean, that in itself is incredible how time's flown by. But I think the craziest part is just how special that comeback was when you rewatch and remember it. So sorry.
Well, you're working as we're doing this. See, that's most of us are sitting around with nothing to do. You're actually working. I love that.
I know.
Did you see this Bleacher Report thing? I think you were rated the #1 most unique batting stance of recent baseball history. So congratulations. Anytime you're #1, that deserves congratulations.
Yeah, no, I never set out to win that award, but it's a pretty cool award to have. I think it was interesting. I mean, if people saw my college batting stance, they would have been like, "Holy cow, that's even more unique." And then just the whole process of being unorthodox and being unique. And I think that's one of the messages I love to speak to the younger generation, to parents. And we're so locked in right now into everyone has to have perfect mechanics. And that's far from the truth. There's so many ways to go about it. And the beauty of hitting is it's an art. it's unique, it's fun. So just being on the list with some of those guys like Gary Sheffield. Like Gary Sheffield was one of my favorite players to like compete against.
Such a
Except
violent swing. The violence of his swing.
His hands were just lightning fast, and it wasn't fun playing defense against him.
Yeah.
When I moved over to first base, it was the greatest day of my life. Third base, I mean, I literally needed Depends on every time he came up to bat.
I remember one summer, it must have been around 05. For years I'd seen kids on the beach, right? They're doing the no mark glove thing. And then one day I was walking down the beach and some kid's playing wiffle ball and he's got this going on. And I was like, that's it. Uke is infecting the youth of New England with this batting stance.
Yeah, that's I always tell people that's the beauty of it. Was when I was growing up, I had Eric Davis and Hal Morris, and there was so many, and Pete Rose. Like we'd all do the hunchback over Pete Rose, and then Eric Davis, we'd twirl our hands and do a leg kick, and then Hal Morris moved his feet. So we always would try the Hal Morris. And I think the coolest thing through it all is just you got to figure out what works best for you. And I think people found out real quick that my stance didn't work for them.
It worked for you, and it worked well. I know I got to ask you the obligatory quarterback question, and I know you'd rather talk about Joe Burrow and what he's going to do for Cincinnati. But Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay has obviously rocked all of New England. You know what that? There we go. See, now he was ready for this one. So tell us, first of all, my two football questions for you. I joked that we saw Joe Burrow last on a Monday night. When are we going to see him on a Monday night again? Are we going to get the Bengals on Monday Night Football now at some point?
Oof. That's always my kiss of death. I don't like the Bengals on any primetime game. Their track record on primetime is never good. So, but it's a new era. Maybe things, we are just like, we're Red Sox fans, Bengals fans are Red Sox fans. We've been dealing with a lot of misery for a long time. It's a roller coaster ride. So we hit the bottom, and now we're coming back up, slowly on that thing where you can hear the tick 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 tick. I'm just hoping that tick is accelerated where we can get to the top. But
all right, your day will come. And how weird is it to watch not just Tom Brady but Gronk going with him to Tampa Bay? How strange is that going to be this fall?
Oh, that one's going to be, it's strange to see both of them in different uniform because they brought so much joy and so much passion and so much love to the game of football in New England and taught so many young generations about winning in football. And it's great. But, somebody asked me this the other day and Duke Lasiglione, I got on with and talked to him about it and said, as much as, the fans have been amazing too. They realize and they understand it, and being there that long and 20 some years. And now Tommy's just for him to play at 43 is absolutely amazing. So, Tommy's been so grateful to all those fans and the fans have been great. And the separation stinks because you want somebody to end their career there. But I think it's also good for Tommy in a way that he gets to see something else, gets to see another team, gets to see another place. And as much as that hurts fans, I know across New England, it's something that will be great for Tommy in the sense of 10 years from now to think back on all the little, intricate parts of his career throughout the years. And hopefully he does just as well with Gronk and these two beasts in the background. I mean,
he's got some weapons. There's no
Mike Evans
doubt about that.
I mean, Mike Evans and Gronk present a huge problem on one side of the field.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It's going to be fun to watch. Great catching up with you. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
You too, TC. Thank you, guys.
Caron Youkilis with us. We'll take a break, come back with more. Look back at the best of the week. At Home with TC, presented by People's United Bank.